Good morning everybody, I'm Steve and this is Green Side Up. I'm potting on plants today, a mix of veg and flowers. I did some filming yesterday and I'll add that in at the beginning, and then what I've done today I'll add on at the end. So there we go, I'll crack on with it now. So I'm potting on these Chinese cabbage today. These are a variety called Wong Bok. Now, I've never had much success with these before, Chinese cabbage. By that I mean I finally get the plants to maturity and grow the seedlings fine, as you can see. Grow the plants on fine, but they are difficult once they're in the ground. They tend to get attacked by any pests that are in the area. And I've also found, and it's probably, there's no probably about it, it's down to me, but they tend to rot for me, get mildew or something similar. They basically just collapse under themselves, but it doesn't stop me growing them, because you know, if you plant, let's say you plant 8 plants and you get 2 out, then that's the result for winter growing. So I persist with them and I try different things each year, and eventually I'll get there. I just know that they're very, for me, difficult. Ideally I'd love a nice row of these, you know, 8 of them, go and pick at them, but it's not happened so far, and I don't expect it will happen this year. So we shall see what happens this year, and we'll give them a go. But the thing is, I mean, this crop is, to me, is an addition, because I've got plenty of other crops to go at. And winter can be difficult to grow, even in a polytunnel. And I tend to have a lot of projects going on outside in the winter. It's when I get the bulk of my landscaping work done, for want of a better description, outside here, make all the changes I want to make, and so I can take my eye off the ball with plants, and I think that's probably where my problem lies with these and other plants. So I have a bit of a scattergun approach to them, and plant lots to get a few out. We'll also plant lots of varieties to get the variety of vegetables to see us through winter. So I think that'll probably do us there. I might do one more tray actually. Yeah, I'll do 1 or 2 more trays, and that'll be it. The cabbage Wong Bok, they're potted on, they can go into the other tunnel. This is the first of my mustards. This is Cometsuna, a tender green variety, and it's as I said, it's a mustard. So when they're younger, they'll go in salads quite nicely. They'll also go in stir fries. Just quickly wilt them for an extra green hit in your meal. So I'll put a couple of little trays of this on. So I've got another variety, and I've got plenty of other winter greens coming on. I mean, what is everybody else growing over winter this year? Have you got undercover like this? Have you got a polytunnel or a greenhouse that you can plant in, or a protected area in your back garden or something, you know? Have a crack at something, you know, get something in, and even if it's just a couple of plants, there's nothing more lovely than going out on a cold winter's day and being able to pick your tea, basically. It's the same as going to your allotments in the middle of summer when everything's in full bloom, so to speak. You know, you think back to these winter days when you've got so much stuff you don't know what to do with it, and then in winter there's nothing happening. But these mustards, these Japanese mustards, you know, we all know what Japan's like. We've all seen what Japan's like in the winter. They get quite cold winters, and they grow these things. So they are hardy. Anyway, I've got this type, and I've got another one. I think it's called Red Giant. I'll put that on in a bit, and I'll move on to something else. But do have a go at growing something over winter. Don't just pack up your allotments, lock the gate and walk away and leave it until spring. Have a go, get something in the ground. Go to Premier Seeds, get your seeds from there, 99p a packet, and you've not lost anything. You know, get a couple of packets of seeds, chuck them in, see what happens, learn by it, and you'll soon find what will and what won't grow by your own testing. Yeah, you can read the seed information, the seed packet information, but it's never the full story, and they're just guidelines as far as I'm concerned. What you do with them is a different story. So anyway, you have a go. Right, these are one of my favourite winter plants, chiefly because they're so resilient. This is Chard. Many people will know it and probably already grow it. But what I really like about this during winter time is how resilient it is, as I just said. Really, it's the fact that they could take a frost. You can have a nice healthy plant with lots of leaves ready to pick, and you'll get a hard frost and it'll come right into the tunnel and it'll knock these down right to the ground. They're flat as a pancake, and you'll think that's dead. Week of nice weather, plant is back up. It's back up and running. They just want to grow, and they won't be told otherwise. I just think they're absolutely remarkable. Plus their eating qualities are really good. You know, they are a beet, as you can probably tell. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. I'll perhaps try and zoom in a bit. But you can see the leaf, and it's, you know, it's very similar to a beetroot. It's got that veining. It is part of the beet family. So it's got an earthiness, an earthy taste to it, similar to beetroot. And I mean, I just love it. But you know, some people will just take the leaves, cut the stems out, take the leaves, and they'll use the leaves a bit like a spinach, really, just wilt them down, and that's very enjoyable. But for me, I will cut the stems out of each leaf. I prefer to grow them big before I eat them. I don't take the little leaves like this. I wait till the leaves are like this. Then I can cut the central stem out, chop that central stem up, and I can fry that for a couple of minutes, generally with some nutmeg. And then at the last second, just before I'm about to serve those stems, the chopped up leaves, the soft part of the leaf, is wilted very quickly, just chucked in the pan, and then you serve it. And that's beautiful, and you're not wasting anything. I mean, I urge you to try it if you haven't. I mean, I'm probably talking mostly to the converted out there already. I know many people already grow it, but if you haven't, if I can convince one more person to grow it and eat it, then so much the better. Such a good plant. I mean, last year in the polytunnel here, I grew a few over winter, and they kept us supplied for all our greenery needs through the winter, along with a few other bits and bobs in here. But once we got into sort of February, March, it kind of went into seed. It went to seed, my plants, and they grew to a tremendous size. But I was still picking from them. So even when they go to seed, they're still got a use. Give them a go. I always grow the rainbow chard, or bright lights, because then we get a nice mix of colour on the plate when we come to eat. So I always make sure I've got one of the natural coloured stems, the sort of like a beigey coloured, and a red one, and a pink one if there's available, and yellow ones as well. So we've got a nice colourful mix on your plate. I'm an ex-chef, did it for many years in some very nice high-class restaurants, and one of the things I was taught, very first things I was taught, was that people eat with their eyes. Just silly question, silly statement. What it means is that people will look at a plate of food. If it looks good, it already tastes good, and it is 50% of the battle to getting somebody to eat something that looks nice. So you make it look nice, and these bright colours will make a meal look nice. So you've got some nice, this is sort of a pinky colour here, and this is a red colour. Yeah, a nice mix of colours. That's a natural colour. There's some yellow ones in there. Make the food look nice. It tastes nice, and it's half your battle. So give chard a go. So I want to get some of these flowers out of the ground. All these here are wallflowers. This is all honesty. But in between these are the Sweet William. And I'm just going to take them out in chunks, and then I'll go and pot them on. For Sweet Williams, they're a bit late. But as it's me, I like breaking rules. I don't listen to the seed package, I listen to myself. So I'll put them on and then see what happens next spring. There we go, I'll go and separate them, put them on, come back for the rest. So I've got these Sweet Williams and some trays for them ready to go into. So it's just a case of gently easing them apart. Popping them in a hole. I've got choices with these. If they grow on very well, I could actually plant them out in about a month's time, and they'll come to no harm. But what I'm thinking is that I'll pot them on and grow them on and plant them out in the spring, so they'll have a winter of polytunnel protection. And you know, I've got tons here, so this is great. I might even do a combination of the two, do a little test and see. I did sow these too late really, and I've rather neglected them. I've just left them in the bed, so we'll see what becomes of them. I'll just finish this one tray and then that'll be these done. I've got a lot to put on today, so I must crack on with this. There we go, that's that done. This little bath here, this water bath, somebody gave me this tin thing a couple of years ago, and it's one of my most important bits of kit now. Fill it with water, float my plants in it, and as soon as they're ready, they sink and just completely soaks them. Which when you're doing seedlings is really what you want. You want as much water in there as possible just to get them started. Pull them out, let them drain. But there we go, that's a cracking bit of kit as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing worse when you've got young tender seedlings, you just potted them on and then you water them with a watering can or a hose or something and you just knock them all flat. This is brilliant, this stops that. So that's it today, that's my sort of no nonsense approach to potting plants on. I'm not one of these sort of tease plants out. I grab it out and put it in a pot. I hate that messing around when I know that I can just rip a plant out and put it in a pot and get on with it, and I save myself a lot of time. Yeah, I could do things a lot better, but I'm happy doing what I do, and it works for me. You know, things grow, they either grow or they don't, and I think when you treat them rough, I believe that they grow better for you. So that's just my take on things. So there we go. So look after yourselves everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one in a couple of days. Take care now, bye bye.